Hello there. Welcome to the second beta test episode of Scott's Box. We've got a lot of comics to take a look at this month, so we can't afford to waste any time.
First up, we have the latest issue of Marvel Comics Presents, published by Marvel, with a cover price of $3.99. This is the only comic that I get every single month until it's inevitably canceled, as all anthology series are. Inside, you will find a variety of fun Marvel stories, each with a different artist and writer team, though the quality does vary. If you want to read this series, I suggest you buy it monthly, because if history is anything to go by, this will never be published in trade paperback form. Next up, we have issue 2 of 3 of the Marvel Soleil miniseries Sky Doll, cover price $5.99. This is written by Alessandro Barbucci and drawn by Barbara Canepa. After reading the first issue of this, which I bought solely because I wanted to support Marvel's international publishing efforts, I was not very amazed with the story. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't anything that blew me away. But the art is absolutely amazing, and I will continue to buy this and other titles in Marvel's Soleil line to encourage the international trends. Here we have a flip book from Ape Entertainment that was absolutely free, I'm guessing, to all DCBS customers, because I did not ask for it. One side contains a story called Heresy. The other side contains a story called Walled In. It doesn't look like it's my cup of tea, though I haven't read it yet, and I will. However, I applaud their efforts for giving out free comic books when it's not Free Comic Book Day as an attempt to get new readers. Here we have Contract, issue number 0 from First Salvo Productions. I'm not going to lie to you, I bought this because it only cost me 13 cents. It's written by Garen Medeiros and drawn by a host of various artists. Again, I applaud their efforts to try to get their book out to new readers, and I will give it a shot, but at first glance, it does not look like it's up my alley. This is Blood Bowl Killer Contract from Boom Studios. Cover price of $3.99. Written by Matt Forbeck, art by Lads Hellivan. I bought this because it says Blood Bowl on it. It's pretty obvious. If you don't know what Blood Bowl is, it's a miniatures game with rules very similar to the game of American football that is made by Games Workshop, the same people who bring you Warhammer 40K. I don't have very high expectations of this comic. I bought it simply for the novelty value, but the art actually looks pretty good, so I'll give it a shot. Maybe the trade will be a purchase in the future. If you think Donald Duck comics are only for kids, you are a fool. This is Donald Duck Adventures, the Barks Rosa Collection, Volume 2 from Gemstone Publishing, cover price of $8.99. This contains various Donald Duck stories written by Carl Barks and Don Rosa, the gods of duck riding comics. If you've never read any Donald Duck or Scrooge McDuck comics, I highly recommend you start with the Lifetimes of Scrooge McDuck by Don Rosa. If you read no other Duck comic, read that one. And I mean, how could I pass up this latest volume? It's got a story called Donald's Atom Bomb. Seriously. This is the Goodbye hardcover, published by Drawn & Quarterly, with a cover price of $19.95. It's written and drawn entirely by Yoshihiro Tatsumi, the father of Gekiga. This is the 3rd volume of his work that has been published by Drawn & Quarterly. It contains stories he created in 1971 and 1972. The first volume was The Pushman and Other Stories, which contains his work from '69. And the second volume was Abandon the Old in Tokyo, which contains his work from 1970. If you care at all about manga or Gekiga, these are a must-own. I highly recommend you buy all of them. This is Multiple Personality Disorder Psycho, Volume 5, published by Dark Horse, with a cover price of $10.95. It's written by Eiji Otsuka, with art by Shou Tajima. This is an amazing psychological thriller, though there is quite a bit of gore and some other disturbing scenes throughout it. But if you can stomach it, I highly, highly recommend you read this. I will be buying every volume, I can assure you. This is Black Magic, published by Dark Horse with a cover price of $14.95. This completes my collection of manga written and drawn by Masamune Shiro. This is actually his first full graphic novel, and it's very, very interesting to look at his old art. If you want to see where the creator of Ghost in the Shell and Appleseed got his start, this is a book you must buy. This is Penny Arcade, Volume 5, The Case of the Mummy's Gold, published by Dark Horse with a cover price of $12.95. Obviously written and drawn by Jerry Hulkins and Mike Krahulik, a.k.a. Gabe and Tycho. It contains every Penny Arcade comic from 2004 with Tycho's commentary below. In the back, there are also some great extras, including a Cthulhu Christmas story and the tablecloths they doodled on at various comic conventions. If you're a Penny Arcade fan, you cannot pass this up. This is Demo, published by DC Vertigo with a cover price of $19.99. It's written by Brian Wood, the creator of the ever-popular DMZ, and the art is by Becky Cloonan. I'm pretty sure this used to be published in separate smaller trade paperbacks, but now the entire series is available in this single book. I'm just excited to finally get my hands on this book that I've known about for so long but have never had a chance to read. This is Fables, Volume 10, published by DC Vertigo with a cover price of $17.95. It is written by Bill Willingham with art by Mark Buckingham. If you don't know Fables, it is one of the best ongoing comics published today. This comic answers the question, what if all the fairy tales were true and the fairy tale characters lived in the modern world? This is a must-read for every literate human being, though I can't show you more because I don't want to spoil anything. It is that good. This is Y the Last Man, Volume 10, published by DC Vertigo with a cover price of $14.99. It is written by Brian K. Vaughan with art by Pia Guerra. Knowing nothing else about a comic, if Brian K. Vaughan writes it, I buy it. And Y the Last Man has been his most successful series by far. And this, number 10, is the final volume. It's all over. I've read all of it except this volume, and I know the ending will not be disappointing. This is Tales of the Starlight Drive-In, published by Image, with a cover price of $19.99. It's written by Michael Sangiacomo, and it's an anthology series with a wide variety of artists. See, each chapter is a story that takes place during one part of the drive-in's history. The first story takes place in 1955, where the drive-in is playing Frankenstein and King Kong. There's a story in the middle that takes place in 1979, where the drive-in is playing all westerns in honor of John Wayne. The final story takes place in 2005, and the epilogue takes place in 2008. With such a unique concept, there is no way I could have turned this book down. This is Killing Girl, published by Image, with a cover price of $14.95. It's written by Glenn Brunswick with art by Frank Espinoza and Toby Cypress. I got the first issue back in the day because Frank Espinoza, the creator of the awesome Rakuto, was doing the art. I wasn't that interested in the story, but I got the trade for the sake of getting more of Espinoza's amazing artwork. In Chapter 3, Toby Cypress takes over, and his art is, I must say, unappealing. I'll find out if the story holds up after I read it. This is Eternals, published by Marvel Comics with a cover price of $24.99. It's a superhero book that's a modern remake of an old team that Jack Kirby came up with. So why did I buy this? I think the answer is pretty obvious. Art by John Romita Jr. and written by Neil Gaiman. Case closed. This is Robot, Volume 5, published by Udon Entertainment with a cover price of $29.95. Robot, as it says, is super color comic. It's an anthology of manga series that are published in amazing, amazing color. There are many artists and many stories within, but the big ones are Rangi Murata of Last Exile fame and Yoshitoshi Abe of Serial Experiments Lane fame. Don't be put off by the semi-perverted cover images. There is actually a wide variety of content in the pages of Robot. My favorite is the ever-crazy Suzume Robo. And lastly, we have Apple, Volume 1 from Udon Entertainment with a cover price of $34.95. I bought this knowing only that it was the Korean equivalent of Robot, and I must say, I am not disappointed at all. I flipped through this, and I have been totally blown away. If you like Robot, you must get Apple.
That wraps it up for this month's episode of Scott's Box. Tune in next time when I'll have another batch of the best new comics to show you. Thanks for watching.